Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to the Natural Cook. I'm Anna Gershenson. I'm very happy that you joined me for my show today because we are approaching a holiday that is celebrated all over our country, the holiday of gratitude, Thanksgiving. And today I'm not specifically preparing dishes for Thanksgiving. However, the dishes that I'm preparing today are very suitable for your Thanksgiving table, and they are very suitable for feeding yourself throughout this season of winter when we start getting chills outside and warming ourselves from the inside out, and keeping ourselves warm is very, very important to us. We also are encouraged to get flu shots. However, we have to remember that our immune system is our biggest ally, and so all the ingredients here that I'm using in this preparation, and there will be 2 recipes, are geared towards strengthening your immune system and making you strong and healthy. So today we are making roasted butternut squash with grapes and sage and leeks, and the second dish will be a very quick salad that is made with chopped broccoli crowns. You can either pre-cook them a little bit or leave them raw. I'm going to cook them a little bit today, and raw shredded Brussels sprouts and an exciting dressing that is going to be just tahini and soy sauce or coconut aminos, a little bit of maple syrup. So really yummy stuff. Okay, and of course lemon and lime juice. Need acidity. So we'll start with butternut squash. So butternut squash, when you are buying it, make sure that it's heavy, feels heavy in your hands. And also I pay attention to the coloring on the outside, because when it is dark on the outside, then most likely it will be also dark on the inside. And the darker your vegetable, carotenoid vegetable like butternut squash is, that is a precursor of vitamin A, the more nutrients it will have. And as you can see, some people don't like peeling butternut squash. I don't mind doing it. You can buy already pre-peeled butternut squash if you choose to do so. So this kind of tool, which is a V-shaped peeler, is really very suitable for this job. So you can either you can also use a knife. I could stand it and just go down like this if that's what you choose to do. But I think peeler is very, very convenient for it, this kind of peeler. So we will peel the butternut squash, and then we will cut it in half. And it's nice if you are doing composting. So this sort of stuff is great for composting, because if we want to keep our soil healthy, then we need to give us good stuff to get processed and to become nutrients that continue feeding us. Okay. After the butternut squash is peeled, then I'm going to be seeding it and then cutting it into 1-inch cubes. So in the meantime, it's very important that you preheat your oven. You will roast it at 425 degrees. So we preheated our oven, and you will have a flat baking sheet, like a half-sheet pan. It works great for this. Okay, and the ingredient that I'm incorporating today into this roast is something that you probably have never thought of using for roasting, and something that I discovered for myself fairly recently, and I absolutely love it, and everybody who tastes it is very surprised but very excited about eating this ingredient because it's just so good. It is grapes. We will roast grapes together with butternut squash. And I remember I was making like a sheet pan supper where I was roasting chicken pieces and also at the same time, roasting broccoli and roasting some red onions and also grapes. And it was absolutely yummy. Okay, so let's empty it here. And as you can see, we will have 1-inch cubes. However, some of the butternut squash is thin in places, so just kind of make it equal sizes, because if the sizes are very different, then you will not be able to cook it evenly. All right, so let's do like this. Let's first go this way, cut it the long way. Okay, that's about 1 inch. Okay, and another one. So all you need to do is just dress it with olive oil and season it with salt and pepper. And we will also add some sliced sage. I planted sage outside of the place where I live, and it's growing like crazy. And don't forget that sage also is a wonderful herb that can help you in the season. If you catch a cold, then you can just make a tea and drink it, or you can gargle with it if you have a sore throat. So it's really a fantastic herb to incorporate into your diet. And it goes very well with sage. Sometimes it is being deep fried and served, with pasta and butternut squash and fried sage. Okay, so 1-inch cubes about. We are not going to be very precise here. Okay, and another ingredient that we are going to be using today is a pomegranate. And pomegranates are wonderful ingredients that are seasonal now. It's a wonderful fruit that you really need to incorporate into your diet because of many health benefits that it has, and because it's so delicious as well. I think that I probably won't have time today to show you how to de-seed the pomegranate, but in my next episode, I will definitely address this. Okay, so our cubes are ready. We are going to grab the baking sheet and we will move our squash to the baking sheet, and make sure that your vegetables are not crowded, because if there are too many of them, then they will be steaming instead of roasting, and you don't want that. So we have just the right amount of our vegetables here that will be covering the pan, but not really steaming. Okay, and another thing is that I'll quickly slice the leeks. You can use red onion that you can chop into, or actually dice into pieces. I love leeks, and they go very nicely with sage. So you will cut probably about 1/4-inch pieces of leeks. And as you can see, I didn't even have a whole leek. I had some leftover leek in my refrigerator. So it's a good idea to give it a new life. I love putting it into salad. You know, whenever I'm making salads, I will pull out a leek and thinly slice it. And this is a wonderful probiotic, especially when it's eaten raw. Okay, so, and now a little bit of sage. We will take a few leaves. You can add a couple of tablespoons of thinly sliced sage to this. So it depends on how much you like sage. You can add less or you can add more, whatever you prefer. So it will be more convenient if you roll it a little bit and slice it then. Okay. Let's put these guys back. And it smells so good. I'm sure that people who are working here helping with my show will be smelling and getting excited about eating this delicious and healthy food. Okay, so that's about 2 tablespoons. Okay, now we will mix it all together. Our grapes go in. So it was about 2-pound squash. We have about 8 ounces of grapes. That's 1.5 cup of grapes. And leeks, you saw, it's like one small leek probably. And a couple of tablespoons of squash. And now we are drizzling maybe 3-4 tablespoons of olive oil. You want it to be really nicely coated. And then you will sprinkle some salt and make sure that I always put it to my tongue because I like making sure that it's all very well seasoned. Salt really brings out all flavors and it penetrates into the vegetables as they are cooking. And unless you add enough of it, you really are not going to get all the flavors out of this. So what I also did, this recipe is just good as it is, but if you want something crunchy on top, I toasted walnuts that I will chop, or you can toast pine nuts, whatever your preference is. Okay, now some freshly ground black pepper. Look how beautiful these little grindings fall and make it our painting of our fruits and vegetables come alive. It's just so gorgeous to look at. Don't forget that when you are eating, that you want to really feel gratitude for what you eat and enjoy it, and not just like sitting and looking at your iPhone that we all do very often. Okay, so we are sticking it into the oven. It is seasoned nicely, and you can check it after about 15 minutes. You can turn it around, turn your pan around, turn over what you are cooking, and then if it's not ready, to cook it some more. Okay, so now we are moving on to our next recipe, which is Brussels sprouts that they are both cruciferous vegetables that go into the salad, and this is just so wonderful for you to incorporate them and to have this delicious salad that you will see how easy it is to prepare. So you can buy Brussels sprouts, and there is about probably half a pound, depends on how much salad you want. You see that I have probably half a pound of Brussels sprouts that were shredded. I shredded them in Cuisinart with a shredding disc that is 2 millimeters thick. You can do it by hand as well. So you can buy Brussels sprouts already separated from the stalk, or you can buy them on the stalk. And if you buy them on the stalk, then it's going to keep longer, as long as you keep it on it. So you can just trim the thick part, and then you can cut it in half, and then you can shred it like this. Okay, and this is what, of course, it takes longer, and you need to have a good knife and good knife skills. And this is what I did with the food processor, and it really is lovely to have one because it helps you in a lot of different ways with different tasks. So now we'll turn on our pot. All right, and we will be steaming chopped cauliflower. So the way I like to do it, you can either put it in a steamer basket, but I like doing it in a pot where I would just add a little water and a little olive oil and salt and pepper, and my my cauliflower will be cooking, steaming, because there is water there that will produce steam. And in about probably, I don't know, depends on how soft you want it. I don't want it too soft here. So probably 5 minutes, something like that. By the way, the stalks of cauliflower, the stalks of broccoli also are wonderful for you to incorporate into your diet. So don't throw them away. Like, for example, if you are roasting cauliflower, you can chop them finer. Or if you are making a soup, or you can just slice them into your salad. But they also have a lot of nutrients, and I know that there are more nutrients in the heads, but don't discard them instead of putting them into your body. Okay, so let's do it. Like, give it a rough chop like this. Okay. All right. Okay, that looks good. You want pieces to be more or less uniform so that they cook evenly, as I noted before. Okay, so let's put it into our pot. As you can see, you have here probably good three cups of the chopped cauliflower. Why do I keep calling it cauliflower? I don't know. Broccoli. All right. Again, let's put it on. Power. Okay. Salt. Okay. A little bit of pepper. Or a lot, whatever you prefer. We will add a little bit of water, like maybe a splash, just so that the bottom is coated. You want this water to give you the steam, and just a drizzle of olive oil, and cover it and let it steam. All right. Now we will prepare the dressing for this salad. The dressing is really very, very delicious and full of nutrients as well, because tahini is the paste of sesame seeds. It's really wonderful for you. It has calcium. It has a lot of good nutrients. I know that I'm preaching to you all the time about eating more of plant food, and this is just exactly what you need, especially at this time of year. So the steam, you can see the steam already coming, and we will start now making the dressing. But let me first chop these for our squash. All right, so these are ready. Okay, so make sure to stir it a little bit. Okay, and once it's ready, and you don't want it to be too soft, just to kind of brighten and get softened, then you will put it onto a baking sheet, because this is where it is going to cool very, very fast. Okay, so for the dressing we use lemon and lime juice. So I squeezed the juice of one lime and one very large lemon, which is probably equal to two lemons that are smaller. A little longer. Okay. And so we'll put them first. So I will start with probably, let me see. This is 1/4 cup. I'll start with a 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And we can add more if we need it. Okay. Then I will add my tahini. So tahini, when you buy a jar of tahini, like with any nut butter or seed butter, you will see that there is a layer of oil that is separated on top. So you want to take a fork and stir it very, very thoroughly, so that the bottom, the paste that's on the bottom, and the oil that has separated, that they all come together and become a uniform mass. Okay, so this, if you want to cool faster, you can stick it in your refrigerator, or you can open a window. You know, if it's cold outside, put it by the window and it will cool very quickly. I've done it myself. So you will take 3 tablespoons of tahini, add it to your juices. All right. Then you can either use soy sauce. I'll use coconut aminos. It's, you know, if you're allergic to soy or you cannot eat soy for whatever reason, coconut aminos are a wonderful substitute. So I will add 2 tablespoons of the aminos. Okay. All right. Also, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric. Turmeric is a wonderful spice. Make sure to include it whether raw or in a powder form. Then I will grind some pepper. Okay. And a tablespoon, 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And as I'm adding it, I will start incorporating it. Okay. And a tablespoon of maple syrup, like that. Okay, it looks really lovely. And now taste. A little more salt and more juice, so maybe a couple of tablespoons more. And you want to make sure that it's really seasoned well. Okay, Delicious. So you will take your broccoli and add your Brussels sprouts. Toss them together. I would sprinkle a little bit of salt over them before I add the dressing. And then I will add the pomegranates of pomegranate seeds. They are called also arils of 1 pomegranate. And toss them together as well. And now we will just drizzle dressing over. Make sure that you don't overdress it, but that you have enough so that it flavors and coats your salad ingredients. Okay. Doesn't it look lovely? If you want to, you can also season your Brussels sprouts with a little bit of salt in advance if you want to soften them, like you would be doing if you are making a coleslaw. So let's see now how this tastes, whether we need anything else. The pomegranate gives you sweet and sour flavors. And I will add a little more salt and a little more dressing because Brussels sprouts by themselves are pretty dry because they are raw. So they can really accommodate more dressing. And our salad is ready. You can plate it and you can decorate it with some sage. Now we'll take a little break because our butternut squash is still roasting and we want to make sure that we show it to you the way it looks and we'll taste it. And so we'll be right back. So we pulled our vegetables from the oven together with red grapes that were roasting together. We will sprinkle toasted crushed walnuts. You can use pine nuts, as I said. This is just for texture. If you don't want to, you don't have to. We can put a sprig of sage here for decoration. You can drizzle some of the leftover dressing on your salad. Make sure that you have enough lemon juice. Lemon juice and lime juice are the ingredients that will be flavoring it. And so today we had a delicious show. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to join us again next time. Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.